So it's goodbye from me, and on BBC One now, we'll join the BBC's news teams where you are. Have a very good afternoon.
Hello, welcome to BBC London. I'm Thomas Magill. A London-based children's charity says it's seen a spike in demand for its services as a result of the rising cost of living. The Kids Network, which offers mentoring to youngsters, says it's now helping 600 families compared to just 30 when it started in 2018. It says rising energy bills and food prices are having a negative impact on people's mental health. Paul Murphy-Casp reports.
I've cried a good few nights before bed because it's like, what are we going to do? How are we going to get through this? I'm absolutely exhausted.
Like many families, Tisha is struggling with the rising cost of living. During the winter months, she'd usually put away money to help pay the big winter bills. This year, that's been impossible.
With the gas and stuff like that, okay, you can pay bit by bit, you can make a kind of payment plan if you really need to, but food is the worst bit. I find myself being a full-time worker who works really hard, that still has to attend the food bank at least twice a month. You've gone from kind of eating 3 times a day to knowing that actually you may have to go down to that 2 times, maybe once.
The situation has also impacted her children, so she's approached mentoring charity The Kids Network for some help.
Reese is actually a really good mentor, and if I was paid to say that, I wouldn't even ask for money. I'm not even joking.
I'd like to make it clear that no money's changed hands, has it, LJ?
I know.
No.
Mentor Reese meets up with Tisha's son LJ regularly. It means she can spend time with her daughter and also try and figure out how to get through the next few months.
Well, I hope it gives a little bit of respite. I don't sort of know how much it helps, but I think just those two and a half hours where we go off and do some fun activities just gives us some breathing space.
We haven't argued once.
Yeah.
I find it impossible to argue with you, though. I'm not even joking. That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing.
Oh, that's a good thing. Okay, good.
We find so much things that aren't that much money that are good fun.
Yeah.
We don't even worry about our budget most of the time anymore.
In 2018, the Kids Network helped 30 children in London, but with COVID and the impact of the cost of living crisis, it's now helping 600 families, and it expects demand to grow.
75% of the children that we work with don't have access to any other services, so families are often working really, really hard to make ends meet, and it's really affecting parents and families' mental health. Caregivers are really struggling with how to square this circle.
The help Tisha and LJ has received has had a real impact on their lives.
In having the mentor that my son has, it's taken a bit of pressure off. It's given my son another outlet to be able to express himself and to be around somebody different. I don't think they realise how much they help.
Paul Murphy-Casp, BBC London.
Well, it's not just parents struggling to cope with rising bills. As the new academic year gets underway, some schools are telling us they too are going to struggle with increasing costs. They say they're facing a double whammy of higher wages and having to find enough money to pay soaring energy bills. Alex Dunlop reports from a school in Essex.
Let's start with the good news up on the roof. This new 6-classroom block at Swain Park School in Rayleigh is powered by these solar panels. Free energy. Now the bad news.
These are our traditional old gas boilers.
Finance Director Simon Smith shows me the main school's boiler room. He then shows me a new estimate from their energy provider.
And you can see right at the moment we're paying about 14.7 pence per unit, and their new plan from the 1st of October, 68.7 pence per unit.
Which means their annual energy bill is set to rocket from £130,000 to £580,000 a year. Add to that, teachers' pay goes up by 5% this term, all from the school's existing budget.
It might be that we need to look at reducing the number of staff we've got. It might be that we look at not replacing staff. It might be that we look at some of our courses, and where we've got small group sizes, we cut them.
And that'll have a direct impact on the children, won't it?
Yes, without a doubt.
In a new survey, 77% of school leaders say that they'll have to consider restricting heating. 29% say they may have to consider cutting teaching staff. and 53% say they may have to pause recruitment. The Department for Education says schools' budgets will rise by £7 billion by 2025, and that in this financial year they'll receive a 7% cash terms per pupil increase, which it says are broadly affordable for schools. In a few days, empty halls and classrooms at Swain Park will be buzzing with pupils. Across the region, school leaders fear that the pressures of COVID and soaring energy prices are drawing them into a perfect storm. Alex Dunlop, BBC London.
Now, if you've flown in or out of Gatwick Airport over the last few years and had a glance out of the window, you may have noticed an abandoned aircraft near the runway. It's one of only 4 very rare planes, and it's currently in a bit of a sorry state. But campaigners are trying to save it from the scrap heap, as Charlie Rose reports.
Once at the cutting edge of aviation technology, now at risk of ending up on the scrap heap. For 30 years, this old airliner, filmed by campaigners earlier this year, has been grounded, making way for shiny, modern replacements.
I actually flew that particular airplane.
Retired pilot Clive Grieveson wants to save it.
Why should she be saved?
It's part of our heritage. Once it's gone, it's gone.
In all, 57 Heralds were built, but they proved to be an expensive mistake. 57 just isn't enough to be profitable in aircraft production.
Of the 4 Handley Page Dart Heralds left today, only the one at Gatwick hasn't been restored. Its last flight ended here in 1994 when the engines overheated.
If we don't raise the money, then there is a real risk that she will end up being scrapped and recycled, which would be a tragic shame. So many people around Gatwick and also flying in and out of Gatwick for years will have seen her and know about her.
The fact that you've actually been on that flight deck, you've handled those controls, you've steered that aircraft through the air from takeoff to landing, it becomes part of you.
So far, campaigners have raised half of the £60,000 they say they need to dismantle the plane and move it to Sellinge near Ashford to restore it and save a slice of aviation history.
Charlie Rose reporting there, and we wish them all the best with that campaign. Well, how's the weather looking for the weekend? Elizabeth Rizzini can tell us.
Hello there, good afternoon. We started off this morning on a rather damp and drizzly note for many across the capital, as you can see from our Weather Watcher photos here. Now, as we head through the rest of the afternoon and indeed the weekend, always watch out for the possibility of a few showers at times, but there will be a lot more dry weather than wet, some bright and some sunny spells, and temperatures are above the average for this time of year. It is still feeling quite pleasantly warm, particularly in the best of the sunshine. For the rest of the afternoon, then we should see things brighten up. The cloud will thin and break. Just watch out for 1 or 2 showers. We've got the southeasterly breeze that's just sending us that very warm air from the near continent, but it's lighter than it was yesterday. Temperatures peaking in the mid-20s for many in Celsius. Now, as we head through this evening and overnight, then watch out for 1 or 2 showers, but they'll gradually fade away where we see them. Some clear spells, temperatures dropping to around 14 or 15 degrees Celsius into tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow, well, we are likely to see a mostly dry day. It's quite unsettled, particularly out towards the far southwest, so Devon and Cornwall. And there will be this band of cloud just perhaps bringing a few showers as we head through the middle part of the day. So possibly a bit of wet weather then, but there'll be some brightness ahead of and behind this cloud. Top temperatures a little lower, peaking at around 22 to 24 degrees Celsius. On Sunday, it will turn a little breezier as we head throughout the day, and there could be some more showers as we go through the evening. It's certainly a showery start to the new working week.
Well, that's it from me. And if you're scrolling on your phone this afternoon, try and check out the BBC London Instagram page, where there are some brilliant pictures. In particular, there's one of a deer taken in Richmond Park, taken by 6-year-old Joshua Cox, that's just won a big photography award. Well worth having a look at that. Tara Welsh will be here with the 6:30 bulletin. Until then, have a lovely afternoon.